Here you got your standard feeder with a standard 12-volt motor box. We're going to mount the Guardian to it. We're going to show you step by step. So the first thing you're going to do, loosen your wing nuts to drop this down. If you got corn in your feeder, you're going to want to have a rag you can stuff up in the funnel to stop that corn from spilling out. Then once you got that, move your wing nuts. Bring your mud box over so you can work on it. First thing we want to do is go ahead and disconnect the battery. You got your timer, the battery. You already had the battery disconnected, but timer, battery. Then simply, let's remove the spinner plate. Plate off. Now we're going to get to the Guardian. Nuts, screws, take the plate off, and now we need to remove this blue clear protective wrap off of both pieces. And as soon as you get it started, it'll come off. And you can do this at home beforehand too if you want to do it. Doesn't matter. Once you got that off, now what you want to do is take the two nuts off the motor, the standard motor. These also come with the black plastic around it. And simply got a 8mm socket to take off the nuts. You can also use a pair of pliers. Then simply take this with the opened end facing the front. Just drop it on there and then put the nuts back on. Simply feed your red and black wires through that. Oops, sorry. You got to drill the hole first. There's a pilot hole already here. Just simply drill a hole. They drill real easy right through there. Then feed the wires through. Okay. Well. Now next step, simply take your spinner plate, put it back on, and what you want to do, you pretty much go all the way down on your shaft. You just kind of want to line up the bottom of the spinner plate with this bottom ring. Tighten it back on, it's ready to go. Shove the top plate back on, it doesn't matter if it goes this way or this way. Next we're going to put the circuit. This is what Sends all the juice to shock the raccoons and squirrels and birds. And what we do is we put it in, it's going to go in like this. It's going to go in right behind the motor. Let's just pull that side there like that. Just going to set it in there. Oops, actually didn't see all of it. Just like that. Like that there. Next thing we're going to do is take the battery. And this one doesn't have a solar panel hooked up. You're more than likely going to want a solar panel. But this one doesn't have it. If you did, you'd have your solar panel wire coming in there. And if your solar panel is attached to your feeder, not your motor box, then you're going to have to put this up there before you put your battery in and everything, and then get all your wires connected. But it's real simple. We just take our two wires here. Red goes to red and black goes to black.
And if you had your solar panel, you just attach it to the two tabs on top that come up?
Well, no, your solar panel, if you had a solar panel, it's going to have these same type of piggybacks on them that your timer would have been attached to already. So then you just attach them just like this. There's the battery in there. And now this is still not hot yet because we have not connected the two wires. They're going to get connected right in here. And you go right in line. You see you got a red and a black, so you're red, black. And we'll do that as soon as we get it mounted to the feeder. We'll shove this back in there. Now let's go mount it back to the feeder. You don't want to tighten these wing nuts down yet because you got that rag up there you want to get full out to your corn. What you want to do now is just reach up here to your rag and pull it out. You're going to get some corn thrown out, but then just shove it up. And then get your distance you want from your funnel to your spinner plate. I like mine right about there. And all that's left now is to connect those two wires, and this thing's going to be hot. So we got the two wires, your red and black, right to your connector. The red goes in there, you just shove the wire until it stops, and flip the little orange tab down. You can pull on it, it's in there. Same with the black, as soon as this goes in, we now have a protected feeder. And if you want to test it, now I don't know if you'll be able to see this with the sunlight and everything, you can take a screwdriver, but make sure it either has a plastic handle or a rubber handle. You don't want metal. You don't want to be holding the metal, because what we're going to do is short it so it shocks, just like an animal would get shocked. And if Jason can zoom in on this ring right here where I'm going to touch, when I touch it, you should see a little spark. Now you may not see it because of the way the light is, but I'm going to try it right here. And I'm going to touch it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think
I can definitely hear it.
Yeah,
I don't know if I can see it.
That's the other thing. When it shocks, there'll be a little click. That's the circuit inside resetting. So even if you don't see the spark, if you hear that little click, the reset of the circuit, you know it's working. But once it gets more shade on it, you'll see the spark. You'll see it arc right where you touch the metal ring. If you're touching, you gotta touch the bottom plate or any other metal, and at the same time, touch the ring. And then, but if it's somewhat quiet out, and even not quiet, if you're close, you can hear it click. And that means it's shocked. And if you're really ambitious and you want to know for sure, you can reach up there and touch the plate on that ring at the same time, or any metal in one of those rings. Even if you touch here and touch one of those rings, you're going to get shocked. Now, it's not going to hurt you permanently, but you're not going to want to touch it again. And the other thing is, it takes close to 30 seconds for it to reset, so you can't continue to shock. So once you shock, it takes about 30 seconds to reset before it'll shock again. So, and there it is. I mean,
there's the Guardian. It's there to protect you from squirrels,
birds, raccoons.
This also is going to help people to get rid of their cages. That's kind of the goal of it, was to get rid of the cages. If
you had a big cage on here, you could take the cage off now. Now you don't have to open up a door on the cage and reach in the cage to get to your motor box. You can just simply come right to it. Adjust your timer. And some of these boxes, they'll have a little metal frame in here that secures the timer. They do, they always have one screw right there. When you go to put everything in, you can take that screw out and take that metal out, and then put everything in, and then put that metal back in there and have your timer secure. If you ever need to get to your spinner plate or anything and want to work on it, always disconnect these two wires down here. Don't do these here because these are hot up here from the battery. Disconnect, all you have to do is disconnect one of them. If you disconnect one, then there's no more shocking. Like I just did. I just disconnected that one. It won't shock you.
So for the folks that are not running a solar panel, how long can they expect this shocker to shock without having it on a brand new battery?
If your battery is good and fully charged, you should get right around 2 months out of it. That's with your timer running twice a day, up to 20 seconds a day total. You'll get 2 months out of it, easy. But get yourself a solar panel. It's a regular feeder solar panel. Buy it at most of the sporting goods stores. And get it hooked up, and you'll have it indefinitely as long as your solar panel's getting, 4 hours of sunlight a day on a sunny day. Some of these are hard with their big feeders and they're mounted on the box. You may need to go bigger. You may need to go with a solar panel that mounts up here and then runs to your box. That way it gets more sun. But if you can adjust them and get, about 4 hours of sunlight to your solar panel on a sunny day, you'll be good to go. As long as your solar panel and battery are good.
Perfect.
We've fully tested them, so I'm gonna put this thing back up.
Been testing for quite a while. It hasn't been a day process, a week process. It's been actually years process. So, but that's one thing, we stride ourselves in, is making sure everything's tested thoroughly, and we try to get all the bugs out of it before bringing it to market for anybody to have the opportunity to have any faults. We try to eliminate all faults. That way, if we come across any issues, we already know what to look for. But sweet.
There we go.
That's it. Done.